Hey friends! To celebrate reaching 2K subscribers, I've got a special tutorial for you. In this video we are going to model a low poly tree package together, a fun and beginner friendly project. Since the channel is growing and I have updated the logo with a fresh green color, I thought this would be a perfect theme, growth and progress for both me and you. I truly hope you keep growing and leveling up in everything you do. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out and keeps me motivated to bring you more content. Alright, let's jump right into the tutorial. The reference images we will use for this tutorial are these two right here. Out of all the three models out here, we've picked 4 or 5 simple and fun designs to model together step by step. If you are a total beginner, make sure to check out my free beginner courses right here on this YouTube channel. They'll really help you get started. And if you're interested in leveling up your Blender skills and learning advanced techniques, feel free to explore my premium courses. Alright, let's get back to the tutorial. In this tutorial, we are using Blender 4.3, the latest stable release. The first thing that we are going to model is the tree trunk and branches. There are two main ways to approach this. A simple low poly method, perfect for mobile games or stylized environment. And the second one is using modifiers, which creates higher poly model. The good news is, even if we go with the high poly version, we can always use modifiers like decimate to reduce the poly count later. Here I've got two versions of different tree trunk and branches. The first one is used by the curves, and the second one is used curves, but with the help of modifier we can create this kind of thing. You will see that if I just press Alt H, we see a third tree trunk, and that's actually once everything, all the modifiers is applied, and we just want to use decimate to make it low poly. So now if I just open up a statistic, by enabling that, you will see by selecting this tree we have around 1003 or 400 edges or 1400 triangles. By selecting this one, we have got 5500 triangles. But this one, nothing else, because we just use a single curve. So this one is really low poly. So let's just start create these from scratch. First, we need to go to the modifiers, and we use these Bezier. We can press R, Y, and 90. Now we will see it, and then let's rotate it in this way. We enter tab, and we go to edit mode. I right click and subdivide it once. So you already have your image references on your other monitor, and you can just take a look at the different trunks and the branches to just get the idea. So in this case, I have this kind of trunk, so I like to rotate it a little bit and rotate it this way. So and then we can actually take a duplication of one of these vertices and rotate it alongside and just paste it somewhere which looks like a good trunk. So now we are in the shaping stage, if I say. So just rotate things and make a very simple tree trunk, and you can rotate look at from different angles. I just rotate it a little bit, and that's fine. And now we move to object mode. So what we need to do is moving to object properties data of the curves and open up the geometry, close everything else, and then open up bevel. In the depth, hold down shift and play around with the size of this. Oh, you notice that we've got something like this, which is not too interesting. So what should we do? Of course, we can actually press tab again, go to edit mode, and you can use Shift Z to fastly switch between these two actually mode. So it's good to have these. Let's use a nice green and maybe somewhere here. Okay, so now we just need to scale these vertices at the top. So we select all these vertices and we press Alt and S to scale them down. And by this method, we just scale it. So let's hold a second here and we choose select box instead of tweak. Now we select both of these, Alt S, and we scale it down a little bit. Shift Z. So another good thing is that you can just select one of these, the branches, the branch one, and just you play around with it. Once this is ready, the tree trunk using curves modifier. Now let's demonstrate the second method. For that, we want to use mesh. Doesn't matter, but let's import a plane, enter tab, and you notice once I enter tab, I will have access to this pie menu. I explained that in my other tutorial, but let's go in the edit, then preferences, and we go to key map and make sure to turn on tab for pie menu and then save it. And now once you enter tab, you will have access to this pie menu. This is more handy instead of just switching between object mode and edit mode. Since I'm creating game assets, I use a lot of time the texture paint, so this is good to just switching between if someone uses sculpt mode. So anyway, let's enter tab and we select this vertex. Make sure to be in vertex mode. Control I to inverse the selection, X and delete the vertices. Now I like to look at from top right graphic, and let's turn off these. For now, we don't need it. And then let's move it down. And now I try to create shape a branch or trunk. So let's hold on Control and right click. And once I right click, I can actually create another point. So we can continue and adding more of these. And in some case, I like to select these trunk and then hold on Control and reshape it once again. And it actually just continue whatever you are selecting, whatever point you're selecting, just need to press Control and right click to create a new branch, if I say. So now, for example, let's select this, and I like to rotate it so that it feel to create more 3D dimensional look or feeling, because tree trunk is not flat like this, so we have to rotate it to get a better result. That's okay. We can actually work more, but you have the image reference. You can take a look at it how you want. So this is finished, and the next one, the next thing that we are going to use is the modifier. So we go to modifier properties, add modifier, and we have all the collections. Mostly we will use generate. In the generate we have something called for skin modifier. Just apply it and use Shift and Z because it allows you to switch fastly between vertex, solid mode and wireframe mode. So now let's be in wireframe mode and we enter tab, go to edit mode, select this point as the root. So select it and then click on the make root, and now we created it as the root. Another thing is which is important is that we want to scale it down. So let's select these and we press Ctrl and A. You notice that it will start scaling them down. So let's select both of these end point or end vertices of the branches, and combination of proportional editing, and make sure to connected only is enable, and give that a good proportional size, and then press Ctrl and A. Look what is going to happen. A very interesting result you will get. So let's do it once again for the root and the trunk, and once again. So something like this we have got. Interesting, right? So what else of these modifier we can add to make it even cooler? So another modifier called for subdivision surface. Once I add it, you will see it makes it really smooth, which what we're looking after. Of course, a real tree will always look smoother. So now let's turn it off. We don't need it for now, and we just need to play around with this to make the tree trunk more interesting. In case if you want to add more or less of these, that's up to you. You can always just keep continue by selecting that vertex, Control and right click, and it will just keep moving forward in any direction that you order it. Okay, that's good. And now we have created the trunk. So let's remove this the easiest way, and then we want to just use this one because it's good because we can change it at any time. You can just take it, a copy of these, and change it to a new branch, convert it to a new branch. So let's press Shift E, and I like to create a few branches, and then so select, for example, these branches. You can just draw by the help of selection box and just change it to whatever shape you prefer, and then just select this middle one and keep going up. I'm done with the tree trunk and the branches, and now it's time for the leaves. So how we can add different variation of the leaves to cover the branches and the trunks. So first one, we can use a cubic shape to create a sort of quick shape leaves, and we can apply it for this kind of tree which is suitable for this. And then I like to use modifiers for this, and if this modifier is going to be the bevel, we can use 4 or 5 level of bevel, and we right click, make it smoother, and then you notice that the actually origin point is inside in the center of this cube, which is good. And first I like to make a very big, and then we scale it towards this way. Let's just scale it like so. We can make it a little bit smaller. Okay, that's fine. And then we want to duplicate a few of these. For example, let's duplicate and put somewhere in here some of these, and then we can just move it up a little bit. You can press G, Shift and Z. In this way it actually blocks out the axis that you named with the help of the shift, and then it allows you to move to other, or scale or rotate to other axes. So that's fine. Let's look at from here. I know that's fine. So let's keep continue. Shift D once again to take a duplication, scale it down. Let's move it somewhere here, R 2 times, so we can use R 2 times, scale it down again, Shift and Z. So you can hold on Shift and right click to move your 3D cursor, and then Shift D to take a duplication, Shift S, selection to cursor. And I've just changed it how you want. Make sure to move it inside these bigger leaf to make it even cooler. Now it's fine. So this is the first tree that I created. So the second one, let's press Ctrl S to save your project. Make sure to save it, locate it somewhere. The second one is again going to be the same thing, and let's select this vertex, Shift S and cursor to select it, and now go to object mode, select these, Shift S and selection to cursor. But the difference between these two is that I like to use bigger amount, make it really round like so, and then I like to apply it. So let's press N, go to items, and I like to reset all these rotation by pressing backspace on it. And now we have resetted everything. So let's just rotate it a little bit, and then we press Shift D to take a duplication with applying on these very smaller branches, and Shift D, take another duplication and just take a look at from top of the graphic and move it slightly on other branches by a small rotation. So if I say, yeah, this is another branch, if we want, we can actually select it in edit mode. We can just press E for extrude and extrude it, something like that, as the image reference, and then we can just select it again and move through the cursor there. Take another duplication of one of these and selection to cursor. That's about it. Now it's time for creating a tree like this. For that, we actually move everything else by Shift D, and then let's press Shift D and take the duplication of these. And I like to select this point or the top part. Shift S, cursor to select it. Now whatever new object that we're add is going to be placed exactly on the 3D cursor position. So press Shift A and we will use a cone. For the cone we will use 14, looks good, and then we scale it down. First I like to start from the very top part, and then we enter tab. First select this face and delete it, and then press 2 for edges and GG 2 times, move it up, and then press E for scale it, and then move it down, scale it again, and hold down Alt and scale it inside. Let's see. Okay, now what we need to do is selecting a few of these edges by random, only the edges, and then let's turn on proportional editing and set it to random. You can choose a good proportional size and then make it grab it by G and move it down. It creates these very interesting effects. You can move, slide a few parts. Okay, that's very interesting. And now you will see what I mean. I mean these edges, which is in these curvy shapes. So then what we need to do, just duplication, but we don't want to use this part. Just press 3 and hold down Alt and select this face loop. Okay, and then turn it off and move it down. And once you move it down, make sure to rotate it as well. And you can actually rotate it in y-axis and just make follow these branch. So R, just a little bit, and then move it up, not too much, and then shift once again, R, and then use rotation to rotate it slightly, and then R, and move it down and scale it a little bit, and then once again R, move it down, and to fix it, select press 1 and just move down these vertex. Select it and scale it down. Select the scale it a little bit down. Move it up as well. And rotate it just a little bit. And then select this area. GG 2 times, move it up. GG 2 times, move it up. And like so. Now we've got a better result. Now we can just slide a few of these vertices. Now it's a lot better. So what else can we do is move it up now entirely, and then I like to select it and rotate it towards this way. Now it's way interesting. And we can add or apply solidify modifier, hold on shift and give it a little bit of thickness. In case if you want, you can actually add a bevel, or instead of that press Ctrl 3 to make it really round. Of course you can use bevel, and the bevel will keep those sharp edges. So let's remove it. If we want to apply it, we can apply that later. And now it's time for these branches. Let's work on these. So for one of these branches, we can use sphere. Oh, where's the sphere? We have to bring it in. As you saw in the time lapse, I just used this capsule, if I just say metaval, for creating these two trees, which is a lot faster because this is going to be connected to each other. But this one is not interesting. I just like to delete it and start it. Oh, by deleting that, I deleted the wrong one. So let's use another method. And for the metaval, as I said, you can use the cube and just move it as you saw in the reference. But I like to keep these tutorials short as possible. So Shift A and we go to mesh, and I like to import UV sphere and make it less than that. Let's set it to 20 and 10 only. And then I like to delete half of it and delete the faces, and then press 2 for edge and F to fill this area at the bottom. And then we can press Ctrl 1 to add one level of subdivision, I for inset a face, and that's it. Okay. Press Enter tab, make sure to select these vertices and cursor to select it, and now select it, scale it down, and we can always rotate it. I can rotate it towards the camera angle, and let's select this one, move through the cursor, Shift S, selection to cursor, R, and rotate it a little bit towards this way, and select it again, Shift D, selection, R, move it in this way, and very good. So this is another way of creating these stylized trees. Thanks for watching this tutorial all the way through. If you found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I love to hear your thoughts. Until the next video, stay creative and keep growing.